Happening now, police are looking for two suspects in connection with an afternoon shooting here in the city of Jamestown. What we know next. Plus, Jamestown police have made an arrest in a Monday evening homicide.
And the radar is dry as of right now, but it's going to be another day of pop-up afternoon showers and storms. I've got the full details next. The news at noon starts right now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Police are looking for two people who they say exchanged gunfire in the area of Cherry and West 9th Streets yesterday afternoon here in Jamestown. Police Captain Robert Samuelson tells WNY News Now at least one of the shooters was likely struck, but no one has come forward yet to seek medical attention. Shots were first fired off around 4:30 in the afternoon. It appears no bystanders were hit. However, a nearby house was riddled with bullets. Anyone with information in the case is asked to contact the Jamestown Police Department. Tips can be left anonymously at 716-483-TIPS. The number again is 483-8477. A 28-year-old Jamestown man has been arrested in connection with a homicide Monday evening. Jamestown police say Carl Sorensen is charged with second-degree murder for the death of 23-year-old Brandon Holland. Police say Holland was stabbed in the chest while walking on the sidewalk along North Main Street between East 4th and East 5th Streets around 10:15 p.m. Monday. Sorensen, according to police, is also a New York State parolee. Officers say he was taken into custody yesterday afternoon by investigators at his apartment on Washington Street. Investigators say additional charges are expected as the case continues. Sorensen was remanded to Chautauqua County Jail this morning without bail during an arraignment in Jamestown City Court. Meanwhile, Holland's friends and family gathered last night outside of St. Luke's Episcopal Church to celebrate his life. Those in attendance released balloons and lit candles in honor of his memory. The 23-year-old was described by a friend as energetic and full of life. After being stabbed, Holland was taken to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital, where he died of his injuries. In other news, the number of active COVID-19 cases and those in quarantine took a substantial jump yesterday. The Chautauqua County Health Department says there are now 17 active cases. That up 13. Officials say the cases involve a woman in her teens, a woman in her 60s, a woman in her 30s, and 9 women all in their 20s. There are also 166 people under quarantine or some sort of isolation order by the public health director. Since the outbreak began, there have been 150 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Chautauqua County, with 126 of those recovering, 7 deaths, and more than 17,000 negative cases reported. Well, we thank you all so much for joining us here for WNY News Now as we make our way through what could be one of the hottest weeks of the summer. Gotta say hello to David. Good to see Wendy on the broadcast. Great to have all of you. Good to see Audrey, Renee, Crystal, Wallace, and Pam. Hopefully everybody is having a good day. Let's switch gears now and get a check of our First Defense weather forecast. That's where we find Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. And Mr. Hunter, it certainly looks like summertime and that shot of Lakewood behind you.
It does, and summer truly is here again. July are the dog days of summer, and we're truly in it right now. Lots of sunshine outside, but again, the big factor is this dew point number. When we're up into the 60s, that means you're going to be feeling the stickiness in the air. Now, obviously, because we haven't had a whole lot of rain so far yet, the allergies still a bit of a problem here. Grasses and the ragweed pollen are our two main culprits right now. But of course, as we get the rain, that'll not only help to water our lawns, which they so desperately need, but will also help to wash away any loose pollen. First Defense Doppler radar is dry so far early this afternoon, but it's going to be basically just a rinse and repeat over the past couple of days. So there's the muggy meter shot way up into this oppressive category. It's going to stay there today, tomorrow, and Friday. So these are going to be the 3 hottest days this week and the 3 muggiest days this week. The muggy meter not going anywhere over the next 3 days. Lots of humidity in the air. So stay by the AC, the fans. The lakeshore would be a good idea, to stay cool. 87 was the high yesterday, 64 this morning. 99 is the record high for this date, and 40 is the record low temperature set back in 1979. So through the afternoon, it's basically just a rinse and repeat. Lots of sunshine out there, just an ocean of humidity. It's the air you can wear with lots of sunshine. Scattered afternoon showers and storms develop through the afternoon in random nature. 84 at the lakeshore to 93 well inland and especially south into northwestern Pennsylvania, and not a whole lot of wind to help. And again, this will continue throughout the week, but some relief will be on the way by the weekend. We'll talk about it in a few. Justin?
All right, Dakota, I'm looking forward to that. Don't know about you, but thank you very much. 5 workers at Jamestown area Domino Pizza Hut locations are currently awaiting COVID-19 test results. Nicole Mata, she's the Domino's Pizza District Manager, and tells us that 3 of the employees are at the East 2nd Street location, while 2 are at the Lakewood location and awaiting those results. She says some of the employees were pizza delivery drivers while others worked in the kitchen.
Obviously, other precautions are going to be taking place if results do come back positive. If that is so, we might have to have all of our employees get tested if they have not already.
Now, Mata believes that the 5 were possibly gathered in a group over the weekend and encountered a known positive case of COVID-19. The manager says safety protocols like contactless delivery and carryout are already ongoing at her local establishments. She says those who are awaiting test results are currently quarantined at home, and if they do not test positive, will be allowed to return to work. If they do test positive, she says, while they recover, their position will be retained. She says the Dunkirk, Warren, Pennsylvania locations do not have any known COVID-19 exposures currently. Well, a new survey suggests many people who contract COVID-19 had no idea where they caught it. Our Mandy Gaither has more.
As coronavirus cases continue to rise, a survey by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows only 45% of COVID-19 patients studied in 9 states knew they had been in contact with someone who had the virus. Most often, when the patient did know, it was a family member or a work colleague. The in-depth survey of 350 patients also showed that those needing hospital treatment, which was about a quarter of the patients, were more likely to be older, have more underlying chronic health conditions, and less likely to be white than those who didn't need hospital care. These sicker patients were also more likely to have an annual household income of $25,000 or less and were less likely to be employed. The CDC says this research highlights the need for increased screening, case investigation, contact tracing, isolation of those infected, and prevention measures like social distancing and face coverings. I'm Mandy Gaither.
Mandy, thank you. Nearly all of those who participated in that research reported having 1 or more symptoms on the day of their COVID-19 test. Want to check in with some breaking news right now. Our reporters are following Governor Andrew Cuomo's live press conference update, which is no longer a daily occurrence, but it seems to be every 2 to 3 days he holds the press conference update. And the news we're getting from that is now he says a decision regarding reopening of schools throughout the state will likely be made in the first week of August. Now, he says his office is consulting with all stakeholders on guidance, which will be finalized come next week. He says that the reopening date of schools is a state decision and not a federal decision. The governor adds that the decision will be made on the science and data that is presented throughout the month of July. If we remember yesterday, President Donald Trump announced that he would be withholding funding to schools who did not open this fall. The governor also announced that malls in Phase 4 regions can start to reopen as soon as this Friday, as long as they have enhanced HVAC filtration systems and measures in place. He says that filtration is crucial. Of course, we are going to continue to follow this story And we have a post right now at WNYNewsNow.com with the latest. Coming up next, a lot more local news to tell you about. JCC makes an announcement on the status of this year's fall sports programs. And Jamestown's mayor has appointed an acting police chief following the retirement of Chief Harry Snellings. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
When you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading the WNY News Now mobile app. Stay up to date on local news, weather, and sports that matter to you. Plus, subscribe to breaking news and weather alerts from the team that puts coverage first. In addition, watch news as it happens with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network. Download the WNY News Now app right now. It's free on the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. Jamestown Community College has canceled all fall intercollegiate athletic competition in light of complications from the COVID-19 pandemic. School Athletics and Recreations Director George Sisson says the decision was a hard one to make, but that he had to make the decision to help protect the well-being of students. Sisson adds that the decision was made after coaches and athletes spent their off-season preparing to return to sports this fall. JCC's decision was made after all but 5 of the 21 colleges in the National Junior College Athletic Association's Region 3 had canceled their fall athletic programs. The winter athletic schedule remains under consideration with a decision pending on July 17th. JCC's winter athletic schedule includes men's and women's basketball, wrestling, and swimming and diving. Well, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist has named Police Lieutenant Timothy Jackson as the interim acting police chief. Lieutenant Jackson's appointment as police chief is subject to the approval by Jamestown City Council. The appointment follows the pending retirement of current chief Harry Snellings. Lieutenant Jackson has served in the Jamestown Police Department since May 2000. He also is a Sheriff's Academy professor and served our country in the U.S. Navy Reserves from 2002 to 2008. Jamestown City Council members will vote on the appointment for the acting police chief position at the voting session scheduled for Monday, July 27th. In reaction to the state's probe into nursing home COVID cases, Democrat congressional candidate Tracy Matrano is speaking out. Matrano, in an interview with WNY News Now yesterday, says that Congressman Tom Reed is using a false narrative to deflect from what she says is a poor record.
And now let's look back and really think what would have been best. If we knew what we knew, we'd shut things down. We'd have a national strategy for PPE. We'd have it for ventilators, and we would have it for testing. He's deflecting the fact that all Tom Reed knows how to do is like a donkey kick down the barn door. He doesn't know how to do positive things for people. He can't criticize the president because he's his honorary chair to the re-election campaign in New York State.
The candidate says the congressman no longer discusses federal issues because he wants to attack the governor to divide and confuse his constituents. Well, some popular home security cameras have the potential to tip off burglars when we're not home. Researchers from London's Queen Mary University say they're not aware that any criminals have actually done this yet, but they say there is a chance that someone could develop a program that does so and then sell it online. When someone is home, their movement requires the cameras to upload more data, but the data uploads are comparatively smaller when no one is home. If a crook figured out a way to monitor that change without actually hacking the cameras, they might be able to tell nobody is there. The Chinese Academy of Science co-authored the study using data provided by a large Chinese manufacturer of security cameras. Researchers are trying to extend their work to figure out how to maintain camera performance while reducing privacy risks. That's certainly an interesting one there, and I know a lot of people have cameras outside of their homes. I don't know about too much inside, minus the occasional baby monitor. That's kind of the biggest thing. I like my security cameras. They're outside the home. I can see the cars, all that. But certainly, I don't know how comfortable I would be with, say, having a camera in my living room or something like that. Hopefully, everybody is having a good day. We thank you so much for joining us here on WNY News Now. Gotta say hello to TR. Good to see Zay, Anna, David, Heidi, Kelly, Barbara joining us. Lisa is here as well. Good afternoon to all of you. Hopefully, you're having a good day. Let's now get a check of our full First Defense weather forecast with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter. Dakota, what do you think about that camera study? Do you think it has some merit to it?
Well, I think it does. I mean, I'm not a big fan of smart home devices, which is basically, we shove Wi-Fi into everything. Like, why do you need a Wi-Fi refrigerator, a Wi-Fi stove? Why do you need this stuff?
My girlfriend's parents have a microwave, and they can turn it on from an app on their phone.
Why?
They still have to get up and physically put the food in the microwave, but
I don't get it.
Turn it on.
I don't understand. I do not understand these smart home devices. It's lazy tech. That's what I call it. We're all too lazy to get off our butts and do something. So we'd rather have some electronic device that somebody can hack into. Anyway. This is why I transitioned from IT into weather, so in that way I don't have to be very cranky over this.
Yeah, if you didn't know, Dakota is an IT genius. If you need him to fix your iPad or something,
I don't work on phones or iPads.
No?
I work on computers.
Okay, fine. If you have a broken Mac, send Dakota an email. He'll do it.
Yeah, but I'm not doing it for free. It'll come out of Justin's paycheck if I have to do it for free. Anyway, here we go. So, this past week we've turned on the hot water. Look at these temperatures. 78 last Wednesday, all the way up into the 80s this week. 87 yesterday was the official high temperature. So why has it been so warm? Well, here's what's happening here. Big heat ridge has built in. So the jet stream has pulled north. That's all those red animating arrows. That's kind of showing you the jet stream. So it's the three awful H's, hazy, hot, and humid weather across much of the continental 48. This is due to this big heat bubble building in, allowing all that warm, moist southern air to start to infiltrate back in. So the weather headlines in honor of Charlie Daniels, who unfortunately passed away just the other day. All the weather headlines are Charlie Daniels songs here. So Sawing on a Fiddle, Playing It Hot. Of course, that has been the topic of the weather basically throughout this week. I was covered in sweat. No doubt we've all been covered in sweat here. I mean, I think some of us may have to take 2 or 3 showers a day just because we're sweating so much. Found you living in the rain, your old fiddle, and a man can catch his breath, definitely coming this week. So those are all quotes from Charlie Daniels songs. So if you if you knew that already, congratulations, you get a bonus point. 81 already as of noon hour at the Jamestown Airport, variable wind of 7. Look at this dew point at 68. That is that awful, awful sticky air, and that means it feels more like 84 when you step outside. And that's going to continue today, tomorrow, all the way through Friday. So the forecast heat index, the in-house model has gone a little bit lower with the heat indices now, but still mid 90s for heat indices both tomorrow and Friday. So again, limit the outdoors as much as you can. Stay inside as much with the air conditioning, drink water, that stuff. It's common sense. You don't need me to stand here and tell you that stuff. I mean, it's very common sense. But look at this over the weekend. Not only do the temperatures drop, but the humidity drops along with it as well, and we need the comfort. So again, nothing showing up right now locally here, but again, it's going to be the same deal where showers and thunderstorms are going to be popping up this afternoon in random nature. We cannot tell you when or where it is going to rain. Just keep the radar handy, and you can see there's a lot of lightning strikes around, and that's all that heat and humidity fueled thunderstorms. Here's Future Scan paint you the picture of, there we go again, the radar breaks out with a case of the measles again this afternoon with these widely spaced showers and thunderstorms. These are likely going to be slow moving. There's likely not going to be a lot in the atmosphere to steer these, so they're likely going to be slow moving. So some heavy downpours could be likely, and but not everyone's going to get that. Keep in mind, any showers end basically tonight. Then fog sets up again overnight tonight. Temperatures staying in the upper 60s, so it's another AC on tomorrow. A repeat. Scattered showers and storms pop up in the afternoon after morning sunshine, and temperatures will be flirting with that 90-degree mark with oppressive humidity once again. So let's talk about the zone forecast. Inland areas here. Where are we going to peak out for temperatures? Likely the upper 80s for most areas. As often as the space, Warren County is often the warmest spot in the inland areas, so likely a lower 90s there. But again, where you see the lower temperatures, that indicates the chance for at least a shower or thunder boomer through the afternoon. Next 7 days are on the screen right now. Both tomorrow and Friday, we're flirting with that 90 degrees. Now again, record high for tomorrow is 100. That was set back in 1936. That'll be safe for another year. Don't think we're going to hit that. Here comes the relief over the weekend. Now, in terms of the rain on Saturday and Sunday, we do need the rain, and it looks like both Saturday and Sunday could be some downpour, so that'll help with our rainfall deficit. And it looks like the cooler air continues into next week. How about we take a break and be right back?
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Want weather now? Download the WNY News Now mobile app and stay up to date on severe weather alerts. Plus, anytime hazardous weather strikes, stick with the Southern Tier's only 24/7 streaming network that keeps you safe. You're all in a tornado warning, so now is the time to go to a safe place, small room, lowest floor, near the center, away from windows. What are you waiting for? Download the WNY News Now mobile app today. It's free in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.
There's an old saying, there's no news in the newsroom. Well, it's true. The time I spend at the anchor desk is just part of my day. Most of our time is spent gathering stories in the community, stories that matter to you. We can't do it alone, and we need your help. When you see breaking news or have a news tip we should know about, drop us a line on Facebook today, email our news desk, or call our newsroom at 488-7226 so we can bring those stories straight back to you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
And welcome back. New data released by the federal government is showing just who received loans from the Paycheck Protection Program designed to help small businesses stay afloat during the COVID-19 pandemic. But for many businesses and American workers, those loans seem to be not enough. Now, the White House and Republican lawmakers are determining just how to provide Americans with another financial boost, as the president is looking for an economic turnaround going into the fall election. Nadia Romero is at the White House to break it all down.
Following mounting pressure from lawmakers,
we need to know if the program worked as intended by Congress.
The federal government released key data over just who received money from the $660 billion Paycheck Protection Program. Some recipients of loans are raising eyebrows in Washington, including political organizations, lobbying groups, and Kanye West's fashion brand. The program was set up to help small businesses, including salons, gyms, and restaurants. But the data only shows payments of more than $150,000. And as the epidemic is forcing many businesses to limit service or remain closed, those loans are not enough.
There's not going to be more federal bailout for small restaurants and small businesses like this. I think they're going to suffer.
President Trump also signaling a desire for more action as his re-election prospects are hinging on economic recovery.
We built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and we are now doing it again.
The administration now assessing their options.
The president's been very clear that he's supportive of another stimulus check, and yet at the same time, we want to make sure that we're addressing things in a real systemic way.
However, Republicans in Congress are divided as leadership weighs concerns over mounting debt against the need for more stimulus.
Just how much more support does the economy in our country need to receive to justify us borrowing even more money on top of it?
As the president hopes for an economic rebound to bolster his chances in November, his fate may be shaped by what Republican lawmakers choose to do next. At the White House, I'm Nadia Romero.
Nadia, thank you. Today, President Trump threatened to cut federal aid to schools that do not reopen this fall. Here in New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo calling on districts to create a plan to reopen, but says it's a real possibility that many will continue online learning. A government watchdog group is reviewing 2 new political positions at the Census Bureau. An issue are the hirings of Nathaniel Colleague and Annual Kowinski. Colleague vocally opposed President Donald Trump's impeachment. He will hold the new position of Deputy Director for Policy. Kowinski, a political advisor to a YouTube personality, has been hired as a senior advisor to Colleague. Right now, the agency is led by a political appointee, but is historically a nonpartisan statistical department filled with career officials. The Commerce Director, Inspector General, asked the Census Director to share documentation explaining and justifying those hirings this week. This year, the Bureau is currently conducting its census count, which is used to determine congressional representation and even federal funding. Well, Apple wants its devices to take the place of your passport, driver's license, and even other forms of IDs. The tech giant has filed 5 patent applications for various technologies. They detail how a digital copy of your ID can be stored, transmitted, and confirmed. Apple does not use the word iPhone in the applications, but refers to it as a device. The same 6 inventors are credited in the 5 patent applications. Certainly interesting. I know a lot of people can now just hold their phone up to booths and kiosks and pay that way. So certainly technology changing a lot that we see here locally. Well, hopefully everybody is having a good day. We thank you so much for joining us for WNY News Now. Hopefully you're staying cool out there. A lot of people are going to be relying on technology to keep them cool, and hopefully we can keep the lights on and hopefully see no power outages because of the heat. Let's check back in with Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter now with a final look at our weather. And Dakota, even at night, it seems like it's still hot.
Yes, it is. It has been hot, muggy, sweaty, very uncomfortable for sleeping. So again, for the forecast for tonight, it's going to be another one of those AC ons kind of nights, 67 to 75. I mean, that is just very uncomfortable with very amounts of humidity. Any early showers and basically overnight, otherwise becoming partly cloudy to mainly clear. Again, bigger story going throughout the remainder of the week will be the heat indices. Again, mid-90s likely tomorrow and Friday for the feels-like temperature. But look at that as we go into the weekend. Big relief is on the way in terms of the temperatures and the humidity. Justin?
Yeah, certainly we're in the thick of things, Dakota. Thank you. That's going to do it for us today. Of course, when you're on the go, stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. All you got to do is search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. We leave you with a live look over Chautauqua Lake. Looks like there's a boater out there now. If you can, get out and enjoy the beautiful weather. We're back here tomorrow at noon and hope to see you then.